It's not about motivation. Winners need discipline. Wake up and win today. Discipline comes from within.
Boxing King Media in association with Boxro. Breaking news, Gareth. I think we're all in a state of shock. Just tell me, I know you didn't know, I rang you up and told you, so initial reaction to hearing the news of Tyson Fury Usyk being off.
Well, it's devastating. And if it's devastating for us and the fans, it'll be really devastating for the two protagonists involved, Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. I've seen the picture of Tyson Fury's eye. Saw it not long after we spoke, first of all, about an hour ago. It was being hinted at all afternoon that the fight may be off. He sustained a very bad cut in here. It required 15 stitches, I understand. It was an accidental head clash in sparring. And the fight at the moment, and I think there's been a statement since we first started being in contact with each other today from Queensbury saying the fight has been postponed. It'll be devastating for Alexander Usyk, who's in camp in Spain right now. Devastating for Fury, who's been in Riyadh, I think, for a month in camp now. The promo went out just a couple of days ago. It was one of the best promos I've ever seen for a boxing event. Wild West, gladiators, manga, comic, Marvel comic, everything. This happens in boxing, and it's a travesty when it does happen. There'll also be a brigade out there saying, "Oh, I told you this was going to happen," but obviously he has cut his eye. The evidence is there. From time to time, people have been accused of pulling injuries and so on. And there's a group of people that will always say, "Oh, Fury was always going to pull out of this." There is that band out there that's what they think about him, but the evidence there, he's cut his eye. I speak to people in the camp. Sparring's been going really, really well. The camp's been going well. You've got the adverse group who say it isn't going well, but the people I speak to say it's going well. I haven't been over there. But it looks like we're not going to get this for a few months now, this fight. And it just remains to be seen now whether Alexander Usyk decides to take a fight, maybe with a Flip Hrgovic, maybe with someone else, whether the event goes ahead. And I'm sure we'll find out in the next few hours and the next few days.
But before we talk about the details, I think it's worth highlighting people that are suggested Tyson's pulled out for whatever reasons. This is a man that fought at that point the most fearsome puncher in boxing history 3 times back to back. Not back to back, but he fought him 3 times. So it's just a shame people question fighters like that. From what
you've just got that group that will always do that. Like you've got the group that will always be on his side. But you've got to look at it if no pictures came out of this, if no evidence was being put out there, then you would have a right to question it. But you might question how Fury's mindset is mentally going into this. But I've been speaking to people in his camp for since he's been in camp. As I said, my intel on the whole Jaya Pattaya story and all of that stuff. I was about to interview Jaya Pattaya this week, but that got pulled, believe it or not. But people will always speculate. It's part of the fun. It's part of the drama. It's part of the opinionated sport that we're a part of. But I don't see, in my logical mind, any reason why he would just pull out of a 2-fight deal with Usyk, where if you lost one, you could win one anyway. It just doesn't make any sense to me to pull out for no reason. And then the evidence of the eye cut is there.
What are the details? Do you know anything? I don't know if have you spoken to anyone in the team? Like, who was he sparring? Was he?
I don't know who he was sparring. I know it was an accidental head clash in sparring. He doesn't wear a head guard when he spars.
I was going to raise that because I'm aware of that. And do you reckon?
Yeah, but he doesn't. I mean, he hasn't had this before. Maybe he should be wearing a head guard. We're only, what are we? We're 2 weeks out, so.
What do you think is going to happen next? I know Tyson, looking at that cut from your experience in boxing, he is not going to be fit till probably later this year. Would you say maybe the beginning of the next Riyadh season, maybe?
No, I'd say June, July, but who knows? But that you know that it's a deep cut like the one he got against Otto Wallin. Maybe not quite as long, slightly lower. But it looks like it might be that old cut that's reopened. So it's kind of almost in the eyelid, isn't it? So it's going to take some time. I've got a picture of it here.
I get the feeling mentally this for a normal person, this is going to be very hard to deal with, because I'm assuming he's put his life and soul into this career-defining fight, and for it to be pulled, just literally 14 days or so away, it's not going to be easy to deal with. And I know Tyson's dealt with a lot of battles over the years. How hard do you think this is going to be?
There's the cut there.
Yeah, it looks horrific, doesn't it?
It doesn't look great. It's not one you want to do for the undisputed title. I mean, I think that, just to get back to your point you were making just then, is that he needs to heal as quickly as possible, get ready for potentially, I think 3 or 4 months minimum. As I say, that's why I'm saying June or July. If it holds over till the beginning of the Riyadh season, then that's what happens. And we're looking at October again. That's a long time out. And they might be able to do the second fight in around that time in the Riyadh season, July, August, September, October, November. Yeah, they could do it kind of November time if they did the second fight then. But at the moment, it's just shock. I mean, and I know, think about how disappointed you feel right now, and I feel. How disappointed you think the fighters feel, and the fans, who will have booked to go to the event. We don't know if the event's still on or not. That's yet to be decided. This is always one of the issues with boxing.
What do you think is realistic regards? In fact, before I ask you that, have you spoken to anyone within the team? I think you said you have done. Have you spoken to anyone within the team today? Got anything that's not been?
No, I have spoken to people. All of my information is coming from people in the team. Okay. I'm not making anything up from stuff I've read on the internet. It's all come from the team. I don't make stuff up. I'm giving you everything I know right now.
And then with regards to rescheduling, there's obviously suggestions. Filip Hrgović may take on Alexander Usyk. Is Filip even in camp? I don't know.
Not sure he is actually, because he hasn't been announced as on any of those cards. But maybe he'd jump at the opportunity to fight for 3 of the world title belts right now. And obviously he's still mandatory for the IBF, isn't he? There's other people in camp at the moment on the March the 8th event. Would Zhili Zhang step in? Would Joseph Parker step in? I'm sure they're trying to work this out at the moment. What I'm trying to find out is whether this cut happened today, or whether it was a day or so ago. But I imagine it's happened very, 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 very recently.
What about Joseph Parker? I'm going to throw a name out there. I know
I just said Joseph Parker.
Sorry, you did. The reason I'm just watching a video, I don't know if this is genuine, but apparently it's footage of Tyson's cut from sparring. Because have a look at that.
Oh, he's wearing a headguard. Yeah. He is wearing a headguard.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know if this is official, but I've just seen it on Twitter. And obviously for the fans, I will put it up on the screen. But
he's fighting on the inside.
Yeah.
They go to the ropes, and he's suddenly touching his eye.
Yeah. That does look like one of the makeshift gyms in Saudi, looking at the ring. Yeah.
Looks like Mark taking an uppercut. Yeah. They're both wearing, so they are both wearing headguards.
That's how it appears. And yeah. Disappointing. So, Tyson's just put something up on Instagram as well. Can't help getting injured in sparring, but what I can say is Usyk was in trouble. I'm in fantastic shape. Reschedule as soon as I can. And he's put a picture up of his physique, and he looks phenomenal looking at that. Yeah, have you seen that, Gareth?
Yeah, that was before the cut. No, you could see. I know Tyson well, obviously, and his face has looked long and lean recently, and he has looked in shape. I'm going to have to jump off because I've got a million things to do.
Gareth, I appreciate your time. Thank you for speaking to us, and let's see how this story unfolds.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Love your Boxing King Media. Cheers.
Listen, I got a question for you. Where can discipline take you? Discipline points you toward your goals.